Collapse is upon us, my children. And some will wish to harm us. Some will wish to destroy all that we have built here together. And some will betray us.
Something is coming. You can feel it, can't you? That we are creeping toward the edge. And there will be a reckoning. That is why we started the project. Because we know what happens next. They will come. They will try to take from us, take our guns, take our freedom, take our faith, but we will not let them. We will not let their greed, or their immorality, or their depravity hurt us anymore. There will be no more suffering. There they are, the locusts in our garden. See, they've come for me. They've come to take me away from you. They've come to destroy all that we've built. We knew this moment would come. And we've prepared for it. Go. Go. I saw when the Lamb opened the first seal, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts say, "Come and see." And I saw. And behold, it was a white horse. And hell followed with him. God will not let you take me. God will not let them take me. God is watching us. And he will judge you on what you choose in this moment. Put down your guns. Take your friends. And walk away. Sometimes it's best to leave well enough alone. Sometimes the best thing to do is to walk away. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, and now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I told you that God wouldn't let you take me. Dispatch, everything is just fine here. No need to call anyone. No one is coming to save you. Everything is unfolding according to God's plan. I am still here with you. The first seal has been broken. The collapse has begun. And we will take what we need. And we will preserve what we have. And we will kill all those who stand in our way. And these, the harbingers of doom, will see the truth. Begin the reaping! Let them burn. This is God's will. This is their punishment. My children, we must give thanks to God. The day I have prophesied to you has arrived. Everything I told you has come true. The authorities who tried to take me from you are now in the loving embrace of my family. Save for one, but this wayward soul will be found. They will be punished. And in the end, they will see our glorious purpose. I am your father. You are my children. And together, we will march to... Shh. You have to love them, John. Do not let your sin prevent that. Despite all that you have done, you are not beyond salvation. You're not here by accident or by chance.
You are here by the grace of God. You've been given a gift. Now it remains to be seen whether you choose to embrace it or to cast it aside. This one shall reach the atonement, or the gates of Eden shall be shut to you, John.
My children, my chosen, if you are hearing these words, then the collapse has arrived. The next chapter in your lives begins now. You have been selected for a very special cause, a very important cause. For you are the creators of the new Eden. You are the warriors of the project. Therefore, you must prepare for what comes next, because the ones who were left behind are coming. The desperate, the selfish, the sinners. They will all want what is ours, and they will try to take it from us. Remember, our people and our resources are precious. You must defend the seeds of humanity with your life. The gates of Eden must stay sealed. My children, the enemy will be strong, but we will be stronger. After all the atonements, all the confessions, all that you've done for me and Eden's gate, it's not enough. Is it, John? Cast away your past. You need to open up your heart. You need to see that there is more love all around you. All the pain and suffering you spread will not help us in the long run. These actions will only feed the sin inside you. It will grow stronger. It will convince you to do wicked things. Those you scar too deeply, they will heal. They will become carriers of your sin. They will spread that sin to others. I've seen your death in a vision. You're destined to be slayed by your own sin. It will come back around in a new form. It's only a matter of when. I've seen you die young. I've seen you die old. The difference between the two outcomes is how much love you let into your heart. I pray that you hear these words before it's too late. I want to see you become an old man in the paradise we prepared for. I love you, brother. I love you. A seal has been opened. My brother John was loved by few, feared by many. John was not born a monster. He was just a child when our family was torn apart. He was loving, kind, and full of joy. He was easily preyed upon. John was not perfect. And sometimes he was not even good. But he was my brother, and those responsible for his death will be punished. I promise you that. I see what you've done. I know what you're doing. I'm not angry, but I'm disappointed. My people are coming to show you my displeasure. I know you are in pain. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh, huh? You're not the only one to be tested. Did you know that I had a wife? So beautiful, isn't she? We were pregnant with our first child. And we were just babies ourselves, really. And I was terrified. I'm becoming a father, mostly about money. She wasn't worried. She had faith that things were going to work out. She always had faith. And one day she was going to go visit a friend. There was an accident. The Lord taketh. They rushed me to a hospital and put me in a room with this little pink bundle stuffed with tubes. And they said that I had to be strong. because my little girl was going to live. God was looking out for our daughter. And they left me alone in the room with her. I just stared at my daughter. So helpless, so innocent. And all she had in the world was me. A nobody from nowhere with nothing. And in that moment, I knew that God was testing me. He was laying out a path before me, and all I had to do was choose. So I put my hand on my little girl's head, and I leaned in and I could smell her. And we prayed together. Prayed for wisdom. Prayed for strength. And I knew. I heard God's plan for me. So I took my fingers and I put them on that little plastic tube that was taped to her angelic face, and I pinched it shut. And after a little while, her legs began to kick in and kick in. And then nothing. Stillness. Release. The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh. Pain. Sacrifice. These are all part of His test. And we have to prove that we can serve God, no matter what He asks.
This is not what we were meant for. This is not what we fought for. Our path diverges from the outside world now and forevermore. So we must be strong. And we must be vigilant, because those on the outside will see what we have built here together in our new Eden. The love. And they will come. And they will try to take from us all that we have built. You judge me. You judge us. The things that we have done. People say that I'm crazy. But when you wake up in the morning, you look at the same news that I do. Do your eyes not fill with horror? This is the world? This is the world we built for our children? Communities being torn apart? Walls being erected because leaders are too impotent to act? Bullies are too addled to lead righteously. I did not ask for this. I was chosen. See, everything is coming to an end. You can feel that. I know you can. See, mankind is weak and vulnerable. And we are hurtling towards our destruction, and no one is willing to do anything about it. I can see that. You can see. And we are not crazy. So what are we supposed to do? We just sit back and await the inevitable? I do not claim to be a perfect man. But I saw what was coming, and I chose to act, to lead, because society is broken. And the only way forward is to go back to the way things once were, innocent and pure, so safe and protected in our garden. And all you have to do is believe it. But you see, we live in a world without confidence. All of us desperately searching for some approval from a like button. And why? Where is our confidence? Where is our faith? Something is coming. You can feel it, can't you? The world is reaching its tipping point. We are hooked. And we are blind to our obsessions, and our obsession is consumption, relentless consumption. You see, we need to have the next best phone. And then to go with that phone, we need a new watch, or we need the best glasses, and then we need a new bag to put all of our stuff in. And then, of course, we need streaming music, and we need streaming TV, and streaming movies, and streaming news, and then streaming opinion, and streaming truth, and streaming lies, and lies, and lies, screaming in our heads. And we consume without purpose. And we consume without reason. And we consume without regard for one another. We consume all. And that is our sin. Greed. And we drift down the corridors of consumerism, and we've got our phones and our pads pressed up against our faces, not stopping, never taking notice to the pain and the suffering of those around us. Because we need to race to upload photos of our pets, or our meals, or our bodies. Look at me. See what I have done? See what I am in this moment? I'm special. I'm smart. I'm funny. I'm pretty. That is the travesty, because we are all special. We are all smart. But yet we seem to need the desperate approval of some digital friends that we hardly even know, when your family and your loved ones are right here, sitting beside you. Our family does not live up in the digital cloud. Our family does not send status updates. Our family does not care what you are wearing. We only care that you are clothed. Our family does not care where or what you eat. We only care that you are fed. Our family knows the truth. And the truth is that you are all special. You are all engaging. That you are all fantastic and capable and wonderful. I have confidence. I have faith. Let me be the well that you drink from to fill yourself up. I am your father, and you are my children. And together we will march to Eden's gate. If you are hearing these words, then there is hope. Hope is the rock on which we build our future. Know that you are not alone. Know that you are loved. We are the project at Eden's gate, a family of refugees cast from the world, bruised by rejection. Each of us has yearned for fellowship only to be deafened by hateful words, or struck by the blows of contemptuous fists. Each of us has carried labels designed to minimize, marginalize, dehumanize, or separate us. And the terrible weight of this has forced our gaze downward and fixed our eyes far from the light of truth. The truth that all of us were once perfect, were once angelic. Long ago, before the ideas of war and hatred consumed us, we were given a wondrous gift, the gift of life. We lived our days and nights in the warmth of community. We required no protection, for there was no threat. We knew nothing of death, for there was only life. Our world was a beautiful garden. We lived as angels in perfect harmony. All was provided for us, but a few among us were not satisfied. Despite all we had been given, despite all we enjoyed, those few among us wanted more. They did not share, they coveted. They rejected our garden and perverted our gifts. Generosity was replaced with acquisition. Fellowship replaced with self. Give replaced with take. And we replaced with them. Greed spread like a plague, infecting the world with envy and discontent. Thus began the cycle of binge and purge that traps humanity to this day. Strife, then peace, then strife again. We have wandered aimlessly, consuming everything and everyone. We have elected leaders that do not lead, and fought wars with no purpose. But now it is we few who are not satisfied. We few who yearn for more. And we must seize this moment and act. We must fight for our freedom from this society of self and return to the angels we once were. For God Himself has spoken to me and provided a glorious mandate. A mighty upheaval shall curse the nations of man. Blood will stain the soil as the cries of the judged erupt in a chorus of anguish. The blade of righteousness shall cull the herd and smite the skeptic. And from the ashes of this great extinction, you shall lead your family to return to the angels you once were. We stand on the edge of a great chasm. Below us is the fate of mankind. Humanity has grown numb to the machine of strife that it has created. But we cannot. We, and we alone, have been chosen to survive this calamity and rebuild. We are all angels, and we few are set on a path back to the garden. I am your father. You are my children. And together we will march to Eden's gate.
Something is coming. You can feel it, can't you? Every time that we look at a headline, it's all confusion and distrust, fear, anger. You can feel that we are creeping towards the edge. Oh, yeah. And there will be a reckoning. And that is why we started this project. We know what happens next. They come for us. They try to take from us. They try to take our guns. They try to take our freedom. They try to take our faith. Because that is what they do. They smash our world into a million little pieces, and they tell us to pick them all up and rebuild. And they do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, but not this time. Not here. We will not let their greed, we will not let their immorality, we will not let their depravity hurt us. No more suffering. And I know that you are out there. And I know that you are in pain. But my children, I'm here to tell you that suffering is a choice, and you can choose a better path. We love you. We want you. We accept you. And we will take you, willingly or not. And some of you may fight, but our love will quell your bullets, and our truth will calm your minds. And in the end, you will thank us. I am your father, and you are my children. And together we will march to Eden's gate. I do not come from privilege. I do not come from wealth. I come from poverty. I come from despair.
I come from a world that is ignored. How is it that one child wants for nothing, while the child next door goes to bed hungry? How is it that the fat politician in his gilded office can dictate to the starving farmer what he can and cannot sell? Who is to blame? The privileged, the wealthy, the elite. I do not come from privilege. I do not come from wealth. I come from poverty. I come from despair. I come from a world that is ignored. How is it that one child wants for nothing, while the child next door goes to bed hungry? How is it that the fat politician in his gilded office can dictate to the starving farmer what he can and cannot sell? Who is to blame? The privileged, the wealthy, the elite. They mock us, sneer at us, push us to the gutter and expect us to bow to them, praise them, elect them. But my children, God sees us. God hears us. Humanity has reached a threshold and it must change or perish.
This world is filled with demons. They will try to tempt you, to stop you. We know this will happen. You only need to believe in yourself and walk the path. Does this feel like the path of a madman? Would you let others deny you what you deserve? You deserve this. Don't let them take it away from you. When these doors close, what lies beyond the walls will be nothing but a wasteland. The smoldering remains of a nation full of cruelty, hypocrisy, and faithlessness. We will not look at the lives we've left behind. We will look forward to the opportunities laid before us. Not given, but earned. And while that chapter ends, a new one begins for all of you. One of peace, harmony, and love. One where you will come to accept me as your father. One where you will feel the warmth of my love. Do you remember the way it used to be in the garden? Of course not. We only have the fantasies from someone else's books. I don't want fantasy. I want to live in the garden. That's what we're going to do. To the left and right of you are your brothers and sisters. Get to know one another. Embrace one another as a family would. For together, we will march hand in hand unto Eden. Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed. Proverbs 19:17. I am your father, and you are my children. And as such, I have sheltered you from the violent storm that approaches us. Welcome to the future. I'm so glad we're all here to share it together, my children. As it says in Joel 3:10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am a warrior. We must put down any who would try and stop us from saving our souls. John proved his devotion in blood. How can we do any less? Together, we will march to Eden's gate. My children, a seal has been opened. My brother Jacob was a fighter. He fought our parents. He fought the government. He fought me. But mostly he fought himself. He thought he was a weapon without a purpose. That he was a warrior without a legacy. But look around you. You are his legacy. All of you willing to protect our family from the collapse. To purge the sinful from our home. And you will, my children.
You will purge the sinners from our home. Jacob's death will not be in vain. My faith. My faith. She was not the first to carry that name, but she was the most devoted. She was like many of you when she came to me. Broken. Lost. I put my faith inside her, and she became angelic. It is faith that holds us together. And without it, we are lost. So we must never lose faith. And those that try to harm us will suffer. My brothers, my sisters, they've been taken from me by a snake in the garden. I thought I knew God's plan. But I was wrong. I was blind. But now I see. You took my family from me so that I could have yours. We will welcome them with open arms, just as we will welcome you. We will be waiting for you where it all began. And when the Lamb broke the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of the martyrs, slain because of the word of God. You made martyrs of my family. And I am prepared to do the same to yours. But God is watching us, and He will judge us on what we choose in this moment. I told you that we were living in a world on the brink, where every slight and every injustice, where every choice reveals our sins. Your friends have been taken and tortured, and it's your fault. And where have those sins led us? Where have those sins led you? Countless people have been killed, and it is your fault. The world is on fire, and it's your fault. When are you going to realize that every problem cannot be solved with a bullet? When you first came here, I gave you the choice to walk away. You chose not to. In the face of God, I'm making you that offer one last time. You put down your guns. You take your friends. You leave me my flock. And you go in peace. Judge not, and you will not be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Take your friends, my child, and go. John was wrong. Your sin is not wrath. You'd rather watch the world suffer and burn than swallow your pride. And the Lamb broke the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And the sun became black, and the moon turned to blood. Your friends now see the truth. They welcome Eden's gate into their hearts. They will die for me. I gave you every chance, and you threw it all away. You've brought the world crashing down around us! Don't you see that? You don't know what you're doing! Only I can save you! You have to believe me! Everything you've done, everything you've earned, everything you fought for is for nothing!
Why do you run? There he is! There she is! I know your mind!
I hear you, child.
Protect your father! Take them, my children! Together, we are one! I see you, child!
Come to me, my children!
There is nowhere you can run!
Cleanse them with fire!
I will always find you, child! You cannot escape my sight!
I have shown you the light. Help me herd this wayward sheep.
Swallow your pride, child!
Humble yourself. Mine is the face of truth. It will be sweeter now when you all fall.
No, my children! I beg you, my children, help me! No more!
Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. And when the Lamb opened the seventh seal, and the seven angels before God were given seven trumpets, and there were noises, thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. And I heard a great voice from the temple say to the angels, "Go your ways, and pour from the vials the wrath of God upon the earth." Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, and now I'm found. You know what this means? It means the politicians have been silenced. It means the world has been cleansed by God's righteous fire. I waited so long. I waited so long for the prophecy that God whispered in my ear to be fulfilled. I prepared my family for this moment. But you're all I have left now. You're my family. And when the world is ready to be born anew, we will step into the light. I am your father. And you are my child. And together we will march to Eden's gate. Can you hear my voice go to where it all ended? And where it all began. My name is Joseph Seed. I'm known to some as the Father. Years ago, I heard the voice of God. He told me about a difficult path ahead. The sins of the world were cleansed with God's righteous fire. Only those who heeded the signs were spared. And new Eden rose from the ashes to walk the path. Burn away what is unnecessary. The flame of Eden burns away any sin that may take root again. The world wasn't ready for the collapse, and people fought against us. They tried to break our family. They smashed everything to pieces. But we endured. You must destroy whatever hinders the truth. Only we are strong enough to live in the new world that God has given us. I followed it all the way to an ending and a beginning. Keep an open mind. Piece together the past. You will reveal the truth and be welcome into our new Eden. The winds of change have come. Our only choice is to turn away from the past. Witness how the past and present align with the circle of time. The old ways led us to ruin. The only way forward is to live without sin. Do you understand? God has cleansed the world of sin. And yet it remains. Sin is in our blood, our flesh, our souls. God told me of the collapse. I gathered my family to prepare for it, but hell had followed the white horse, the one that could not walk away, and my path ended here, in these very walls. The one who stood against me became all that I had left. I could have judged them, but instead, I forgave them. And then I gave them a new purpose. I thought I had fulfilled my obligation to God. But he had one more thing to say to me. He told me you would be worthy of this. I did everything that I was asked. I sacrificed myself, my family. I led us into the new world. I thought that it would be glorious. I was wrong. I have waited so long for someone to come. I've begun to despair. I have seen your face before. God showed it to me in a dream. I knew you would be the one to come and make things right. Set them exactly the way they're supposed to be. I knew that you would bring salvation. You've come seeking help. I can't give you any, only God can. But he has a plan for you. Come. Walk with me. After God's cleansing fire, I saw the journey he had laid out before us. And I knew what was required when we set foot on our new Eden. When humanity emerged, I gathered my flock and set them on a new path. A rejection of everything connected to the old world. The creation of a new society. Living off the land. Taking only what was needed when the harshest years of the dark winter fell. I despaired. And in that despair, I found our salvation. This tree. Its fruit a gift from God which gave my family the strength to endure through the famine and the pestilence. New Eden thrived. We created a paradise on earth. But it did not last. This plague of locusts saw to that. These highwaymen embody everything God has instructed us to forsake. Their souls are rotten, diseased. But you are different. I believe your soul is worthy. This is the help that you've been seeking. God's gift to us. That which sustained my family through the darkest time. Let me offer you this. Our miracle, the first time that I partook of this gift, I was confronted by a ravenous beast. It was my soul. And in that moment, I knew that in order to be worthy of God's gift, I had to slay that beast. I had to cleanse my soul. Because if I did not, I knew that that beast would consume me. This is God's test. Cleanse your soul. Go, kill the beast. If you succeed, if your soul is pure, you are the shepherd sent by God, and I can return from my exile. Our miracle allowed us to survive, but its gifts are not unconditional. It nourishes what is in a person's soul. But if that soul is corrupt, the miracle extracts a terrible price. Listen to my guidance, or you will not survive. Aim for the weakness at the heart of your sins. Unleash the power coursing through you. Sin prospers in ignorance. Act quickly. You must destroy sin wherever you see it to access the gift. Everything is falling into place. The fire will cleanse your soul. You must strip away sin again and again to earn the gift. From the light, you will see. And now it begins. Light the fires. A beast lurking inside, waiting to break us or be slain. Do you feel the gift? That is why I am here. There are those who must not be allowed to partake of this miracle, even if I love them. Even if they are of my family. Sin is a beast we cannot feed. You will be the shepherd of my people. Come with me to New Eden. Ethan, to hear God's plan, my son. To hear God's plan. My children, I know that you have suffered, and I know that you are afraid. I have been gone from you for a very long time. But you were not abandoned. God spoke to me, and He has shown me a path out of this darkness. We will no longer hide behind these walls. We will no longer simply hope that this plague of locusts leaves us in peace. The time to fight is now. And God has sent us His sword. Here, God has tested their soul, and it is just, and it is pure. And I stand here before you to bear witness that this outsider is our shepherd. And together, we will battle against the hordes outside our gates. And together we will march towards the future that God has promised us. Son, I know you carried a heavy burden in my absence. I understand that. This is God's will. And sometimes we must sacrifice that which we want in order to honor God's command. Someday you will see the light. I promise. Come, let us all go together.
We have much work to do.
Please, you must hear this. As I said, my child, already my chosen, fight the highwaymen throughout the long nights. Now I will ask them to find the strength to fight in the day as well. Your friend should make good use of the distraction and act quickly. My family cannot fight forever. As for you, remember God's gift. What you have experienced so far is just a taste of God's power. Do not waste it. I will also give leave for my judge to follow you. They speak only one language, that of violence. In this, they will serve you well. Before you can be our shepherd, you must be our sword. Go and make the land safe for all who wish to live in peace. Very well. Go. Cleanse the land of the locusts. You may take my judge for this task. Above all, do not underestimate the power of the gift you have been given. Long ago, there was a deputy here in Hope County. Circumstances left us huddling in a bunker as the bombs fell. We had been bitter enemies, and suddenly we had nothing but time together. Day after day, month after month, it all came out. My convictions, my project, my visions, the voice I heard. We hardly slept. We scarcely ate. I changed that deputy. And that deputy changed me. We are all sinners. Ethan's sin is pride. There is something deep inside of him that no word of mine can touch. I worry that now, as an outsider appears to take his place, that beast will feed on resentment and grow stronger. I should remind him of his mother. She put aside her pride, and it saved his life. He would have been too young to understand. He should understand now. I have known great loss in my life. My brothers, Jacob and John. My adoptive sister, Faith. Taken from me. Violently. It is Jacob I miss most deeply. He had a stoic honor that I envy.
Ethan, what have you done? Ethan, don't.
That was God's will.
I was trying to protect you, son!
His soul is not clean. Stop him, please.
Ethan?
No, I know. I know, son.
No! Oh, my son. My son. His only fault was that he was mine. You know the answer. This gift can be dangerous. And I don't want you getting hurt, Ethan. Not even then, because it's not God's plan. Do you understand me, son?
I thought I understood God's plan. I thought he wanted me to build a new Eden.
But I am not his shepherd. You are. My soul has become a cancer. I am a monster. And I have only spread suffering and death in the name of God. My family is all ashes. And Eden is dust, and there is no redemption for this. No atonement. There is only the justice of God's hand. End this vicious cycle. Give me God's justice. Release me. Release me. Release me. Release me. Release me.